Well, a big highball and hello to all the model railroaders and rail fans out there, and welcome to March 2025's edition of the Central Division. Hey, it's been a while since I've done an update for you. A couple of days ago, I looked at my schedule and said, man, I'm gonna have some time this weekend, so let's get the tripod out and hook the mic up and kind of show you what I've done the last few months. So I went to bed last night, man, planning on getting up really early Saturday morning. Today is Saturday as I'm speaking with you now. But man, we had a storm roll through last night. Heavy thunder, man, the wind was just incredible. Electricity was, flashing on and off all night. And then one of my dogs was standing on my head just to remind me that there was a storm passing through, just in case I was not aware. So I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but I was like, man, we're still gonna do this. So I've gone down, I got my Starbucks cappuccino. So right now the caffeine is flowing through, and has me all, awake and just ready to go with this and everything. But hey, if you do see me nodding off as we go through, kind of what I've done, just give a tap on your computer screen or your TV, or just kind of shout out, kind of wake me up there. But we're gonna get through this. I'm excited to show you what I've done. So with that, let's get started. So I'm working on completing the scene of my Bigfoot museum. And I think if you saw, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago, but my wife and I, we get into these kind of fun, conversations about Bigfoot. She insists he's real. I think it's just some long-haired hippie dude, living in the woods, just wants to be left alone. So, but we just kind of have fun with this. And so I thought, man, kind of have to have my tourist trap there for my layout. So put in a Bigfoot museum. So what I've done since I talked to you last is we've actually added some vehicles here, as well as a Bigfoot statue. Now, one of you suggested going with an O-scale Bigfoot instead of an HO, which is I've done right here. So I think he kind of makes him, obviously bigger and more menacing. And then you have, I put in like my tourist here, taking pictures and things like that. So this is kind of a fun scene. I've also added more trees to the background here. And I still have to do some work here along the hillside, but should have this finished here before the month is out, I think. And of course, the trees hide kind of the base of the tower here. Now, I also did, it's been a few episodes ago, I think, but this tower is actually, it's an N-scale tower, but it works because it kind of gives the appearance that the tower is further away. And so what I did is basically 2 N-scale towers. I just basically soldered together and then added some LEDs and everything. So anyways, it's kind of a fun scene. It's certainly coming along. So in my last update, I was showing y'all there was an area track and a turnout I had to basically rip out. Man, I hate doing that, once it's down, but this is definitely, it was necessary. What was happening, for the lack of a better description, is where the track met the turnout, there was an uneven area, uneven transition. So if the trailing car and the car in front of it, if the coupler height wasn't just perfect, the trailing car or cars could basically uncouple and roll back. This never happened when I was operating the layout by myself. It would only happen if I had people over during an operating session. Of course, right? It's Murphy's Law, it's gonna happen. So since I had to, basically replace the track and turnout in this area anyway, I said, you want to have let's have some fun with this. Let's create a scene. And I thought, okay, so what are some of the reasons that a railroad would come in and basically, put in new track? And it's not cheap, never has been. And of course, so railroads just don't do this just because. But unfortunately, one of the reasons they have to do this is after a derailment. If any of the track has been torn up, or if it's suspect there's something going on with the track and turnouts there. So that's the scene I've created here. I basically, brand new turnout, brand new track, brand new ballasting compared to the age ballasting that I've got down in other areas of the layout. I have my construction crew here, and I think I'm pronouncing the name of the company right. I think it's called Prizer. And this is basically an HO scale construction crew set. Now the only thing that I've done is I've painted the color of the helmets. They were yellow. I painted them Mo orange because Missouri Pacific crews wore the Mo orange helmets. This guy over here, this is actually, I think, a Prizer European fireman figure. Has a walkie-talkie, but it still worked for the scene. So basically, you have a guy there just talking to the dispatcher, other personnel of the railroad saying, hey, this line is now open, although under slow orders. The boom truck here is just an Athearn boom truck. I think I showed you that maybe a few episodes back. It was undecorated, it was Mo orange, it was perfect. So basically what I did is I took some small HO scale Missouri Pacific water slide decals, put in the doors. Perfect, that's basically how Missouri Pacific, that's what their trucks look like. It was basically Mo orange with that logo on the door. I found this really cool International Harvester HO scale bulldozer. It actually fits a lot better in my area than the Caterpillar bulldozers HO scale that I saw. Model of the 70s. They have some really nice Caterpillar HO scale equipment out there as well as in. But the ones that I saw, the logo and the type that they had were a little bit more modern, from the modern era, so it didn't work. But I thought the International Harvester, man, that was just perfect. It was great for the era thing. Now, on the vehicles, I do need to go in, certainly weather them, especially the bulldozers. That's why I'm calling this scene maybe 90% complete. But things like that, it's kind of, I call a rainy day project. We're just finding something to do. But anyway, even without being weathered, I think, both of them really fit nicely in this scene here. Now going over to the right, and there's all kind of, I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit here, maybe not. I think I'm about as close as I can where I've got the camera. So basically, I've seen wreck scenes both not in person, but videos and pictures, and I mean, really kind of a reminder that trains carry everything. Well, unfortunately, one of the cars that derailed here was carrying a load of brand new toilets. As the old saying goes, shit happens. So, and in this case, actually in this case it might not happen because customers aren't going to be getting their toilets. But one of the boxcars here that was involved in the derailment was carrying these toilets. And by the way, after seeing these and ordering them online, I don't think there's not anything you can't get in HO scale. I mean, it's like going, wow, okay, HO scale toilets, cool. So anyway, the boxcar that basically came and furrowed into the earth here, basically churned everything up. It was kind of moving at a pretty good clip. This is kind of what's left over of the load the crew just kind of threw in there to get it out of the way. And of course we have the door that popped off on the boxcar here. So moving to the right, and the derailment was multi-car, but except for this one boxcar, all the other damaged cars have been removed except for this poor girl here. This is actually a KD 40-foot boxcar. It's really cool because the KDs you can actually open the side doors. You can model the inside you want, create some really cool scenes. And so that's what I've done here. So for my era, you would still see the 40-foot boxcars. As a matter of fact, these ran up into the early 80s. A lot of them in grain service, because I was kind of surprised doing the research that a lot of grain facilities, the older ones especially, were still not equipped to take hoppers. So up until the 80s, you would still see some of these 40-foot boxcars still in service, a lot of them carrying grain. This one is actually carrying the load of toilets. Now, these 40-footers, even in my era, the 70s, they're kind of getting long in the tooth. So you see this here with the boxcar is, it's had a very productive but long life, but faded out here, certainly has seen its share of mileage on the road. Now what I've done here, it's kind of hard to see the light, but I've gone in and basically have weathered the flooring here to look like very used and old wooden planks. And the background is just sort of a medium gray here with some rust marks and things like that here. So good thing is this girl went out doing her job, earning her keep. Obviously her age and the damage, this will be kind of the end of the line for her. So as we move to the right here, see I've got some wheel sets here. And one of the things I've learned at the last prototype modelers meet in St. Louis is a lot of these older cars, they had, the interior of the wheel was actually an oily black from where the oil and stuff was kicking up from those boxes and stuff. And so that's what you got here. It's basically, it's just a little bit of extra detail that says, hey, this car is an older car and from that generation. So I'm going to move the hopper here in view, and this is actually, I want to say, a Athearn roundhouse hopper. It may have been, I know it's Athearn, it may have been called something else before. I think roundhouse is their newest description of the hoppers that don't have as much detail. So anyway, this will eventually be redone and weathered as a Mocar. You see here, I've got the old ties that have been pulled up. Now, if the ties could be used somewhere else, believe me, the railroads would use them. A lot of the used ties, whether were used in areas like a yard or maybe a siding or something, where you had trains that would be moving at more of a reduced speed there. As we move to the right here, we see 2 stacks of new ties. These will be taken away; they weren't needed. I have here, basically just what's left of a lumber load. One of the cars involved in the derailment was a bulkhead flat. Some of this lumber, who knows, may be able to be reused, but it's damaged goods at this point. And of course, then I've got another Missouri Pacific truck here, and I can't remember what brand this is, HO scale brand, but it might be Mini Metals, I think. But basically, same thing. It was kind of a Mo orange color, added the Missouri Pacific logo, and we're done. So when I did this scene, I thought, well, the thing I was going for is just kind of a cool looking scene. Didn't really consider operations, but kind of the cool thing is my last operating session 3 weeks ago, I thought, no, actually I could use this. So basically crews that were moving through this area, they were given basically train orders saying, okay, this area is open, speed is restricted, and what you have to do is basically come to a stop, hit the horn, bell has to be sounded through the area between certain milepost markers I've got on the side of the fascia here, and you can't move the train any faster than 10 miles an hour through the area. So it was kind of a little fun thing to kind of add to some of the things that the crews had to do, and a lot of them, like I said, it was kind of a mistakes happen, and a lot of them found themselves moving through the area. And it's like, oh my gosh, I've got to slow down. So, but it was all in fun. But it actually, this scene added something to the operating session, so that was kind of a plus for this. So my last update, I had this concrete apron in, and basically told you how I use the 2mm foam sheets and my process for painting and weathering it and adding the expansion lines and things like that. Now since then, I've put in an HO scale. This is a Walters gantry crane kit, and really easy kit to put together. Just one of those kits will take maybe an evening to do. So this is actually used to unload and load products to the rail cars that are coming in. Most of the shipping by rail will be incoming. For the Fabrication company, most stuff goes out by truck, not all. So in this scene here, actually I have my Athearn Ford C tractor as well as trailer that has just basically been loaded with some steel coil that has come in with a steel coil car here. Now, originally what I was going to do is I had a Walters steel coil kit that I was going to put together and paint and do the bands and stuff. And I found Tangent Scale Models sells these steel coil models, and they're already, they're finished, they're painted, they've even got the bands on there, they look good, and the price is good. So I was like, I'm just gonna go with these. And for me, it's kind of a time saver thing. Little stuff like this I can pull out of the box, and I'm not having to like put together or whatever. I've got so much stuff going on in the layout now, hey, that's great. So, and these come in different sizes. So if you're looking like steel coil options, I'd definitely check out the Tangent options there. So moving the camera to the right, and you see in the background there, I've got another Athearn Ford C tractor, as well as a trailer with more of those Tangent made steel coils. And in this area here, I might put in, there's definitely going to be some scenery there. There's going to be some racks and things like that, holding pipe and some products that are outgoing. They've already been through the fabrication process, you know, things that are ready to go. Might put in a very small building, maybe a fuel pump for the yard tractors here, because these actually, the two that you saw here, they're not over the road. They're basically just yard tractors. They stay on site. And a lot of these pictures of complexes I've seen where they have like the diesel fuel island and stuff like that. But anyway, whatever, you know, the finished, everything, once it's in, it's going to remain low profile, because I think I told you last episode, this is where originally where the Fort Smith Biscuit Company was located. So to switch that, to get to the cars, crews had to go lift up this bridge here, and then they came over and switch from this side of the layout. So the Biscuit Company has been moved, and this is more of an outdoor scene, and so anything going in here is low profile, which will allow the crews to stay on the interior of the layout where everything else is switched. And actually had a really good test last operating session, and the crews are able to switch this area without a problem. So I would say, maybe 70% complete. Still some work to be done, including on the, you know, kind of the outer areas here. I've got to go back and add some grass and vegetation, but it's operational. So hopefully next update, I'll have it complete and be able to share that with you. So I wanted to share with you an improvement I've done in the layout room. And what you're looking at here are, these are basically 2 by 2 foot, 3/4 inch thick exercise floor mats. Basically, they're just interlocking floor mats. You see them at gyms, or like if you work out at home, a lot of people will put these in. Just gives a nice soft cushioned area to work out in. And as you see here, the flooring in the layout room, it's hardwood. I'd originally intended to put different flooring in, but it's a situation where that material wasn't going to be in before the closing. The builder's like, well, hey, we can go ahead and extend the hardwoods out from the rest of the house to your layout room, not charge anything. You make the closing, it's like, hey, I'll deal with it. Now originally, I had gel mats. I had about 4 in here, and gel mats work great too. The problem I was running into, at least for me, if I needed to move to another area of the layout and do some work, or even during operating sessions, you know, it was all intent of, okay, I'll pick up the mat, take with me. That usually didn't happen, and boy, especially the next morning, I'd get up and my feet and back would remind me that, hey, you should have taken that gel mat with you. But man, these things are great. And the price, I got these off of Amazon. They're not expensive at all. It's easy to put in. It's not permanent. You know, you're not having to put, you know, glue anything down. So again, just something to consider, especially if, you know, you're having to stand on a hard surface, especially if you're having, you know, back or feet issues. Again, I'm not a doctor, not pushing any type of, you know, medical advice here, but if you're just looking for a softer surface to stand on, these may be a good option for you. So just kind of something to throw out there. I've got, I think, maybe 6 more tiles to put down. I ran out. Now the box came in yesterday. You see in this area here. That'll take me just a few minutes to put down, and then I'm going to call it done. Well, hey, the cappuccino held up. The caffeine's still going, so made it through the update. And so it's always fun to visit with you and show you what I've done in the layout. And as always, a big thank you to the subscribers out there. Again, you're the ones that it really kind of help keep me motivated and moving along, and I do appreciate that. Hey, if you like what you see and you're not a subscriber, I certainly invite you to subscribe. Go out, check out some of the other videos that I have out there. And if you have any comments or questions, or, you know, anything, just something you want to share, model railroad or even railroad related, you know, put it down in that comment section below. You know, I'd love to hear from you, and certainly try to reply just as quickly as I can. You see the progress continues, and so looking forward to seeing everyone next time. And until then, highball.